Welcome to National Eyes. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. Nicaragua has announced a bold new project, an interoceanic canal to rival the Panama Canal, backed by major Chinese investment. President Daniel Ortega unveiled the plan at the China LAC Business Summit, signaling a dramatic shift in global trade routes and power dynamics. With the Panama Canal crippled by drought and delays, Nicaragua and China see an opening to reshape maritime commerce. The proposed canal promises to handle the world's largest ships, offering a bigger, deeper, and supposedly more resilient alternative. This $64.5 billion project could transform Nicaragua's economy, or spark environmental disaster and geopolitical rivalry. Will it bring prosperity or peril? The world is watching as this centuries-old dream edges closer to reality. The stakes for global trade, regional power, and the environment have never been higher. The dream of a Nicaraguan canal is older than most people realize. Its origins actually predate the famous Panama Canal by more than 50 years, stretching back to a time when the world was still being mapped and explored. The idea of carving a waterway through Nicaragua captured the imagination of explorers, engineers, and empires alike, all eager to find a shortcut between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The concept first gained real momentum during the California gold rush, when thousands of fortune seekers needed a faster, safer route to the west coast. Nicaragua's rivers and lakes offered a promising path, and the country briefly became a vital link in the global rush for gold. Legendary tycoon Cornelius Vanderbilt even launched a transit company to ferry travelers across Nicaragua, hoping to turn the country into a commercial gateway. But his grand plans were derailed by political instability, international intrigue, and financial setbacks, leaving the dream unfulfilled. For decades, U.S. engineers and surveyors considered Nicaragua's geography ideal for a canal. The vast Lake Coatzacoalcos and the San Juan River seemed to offer a natural, cost-effective route. And then many believed it was only a matter of time before the canal would be built there. However, a combination of aggressive political lobbying by Panama's supporters and fears about Nicaragua's volcanic activity, stoked by dramatic stories and even forged evidence, ultimately shifted American interest away from Nicaragua and toward Panama in the early 1900s. The United States even paid Nicaragua for canal rights it would never use, a symbolic gesture that left Nicaragua watching from the sidelines as Panama's canal transformed global trade and brought prosperity to its neighbor. For over a century, the unbuilt canal became a symbol of lost opportunity, dashed hopes, and national frustration for Nicaragua, a constant reminder of what might have been. Today, a renewed push for the canal is underway, driven by a powerful desire to reclaim that lost destiny. Modern plans are ambitious, aiming to finally realize Nicaragua's potential as a global crossroads and to bring new economic life to the country. For many Nicaraguans, the canal project is about much more than infrastructure. It represents national pride, the hope for economic redemption, and the chance to rewrite their country's place in history. The long and troubled history of missed chances now fuels Nicaragua's determination to finally succeed, as the nation looks to the future with hope and renewed ambition. Before this new announcement, Nicaragua's first Chinese-backed canal attempt in 2013 ended in controversy and collapse. President Ortega granted a 50-year concession to Wang Jing's HKND group, but the $50 billion project quickly ran into trouble. The route threatened Lake Coatzacoalcos, sparking fierce environmental and indigenous opposition. Financial woes hit when Wang Jing lost most of his fortune in the 2015 Chinese stock market crash, stalling the project. Construction never truly began, and protests were met with harsh government crackdowns. In May 2024, Nicaragua officially revoked HKND's concession, ending a decade of broken promises. The failed project left deep scars, environmental, social, and political. The new canal plan claims to have learned from these mistakes, promising a more viable and responsible approach. The 2024 canal proposal marks a bold and ambitious new chapter for Nicaragua, representing a dramatic departure from the failed HKND plan that once captured the world's attention. After years of stalled progress, controversy, and skepticism, the government is now unveiling a vision that seeks to address the shortcomings of the past while embracing modern engineering and global investment. Unlike the previous plan, the new route strategically avoids Lake Coatzacoalcos, a move designed to protect vital freshwater resources and local communities. Instead, it will connect bluefields on the Atlantic coast to Puerto Corinto on the Pacific, cutting across the country via Lake Solotlan and opening up a new corridor for global trade. Designed with the future in mind, the canal will stretch an impressive 445 kilometers, making it one of the largest infrastructure projects in the region. Massive artificial lakes and state-of-the-art lock systems will allow the passage of the world's largest container ships, promising to transform Nicaragua into a key player in international shipping. With a staggering $64.5 billion price tag, the project is being pitched to global investors as a once-in-a-generation opportunity. China, with its vast financial resources and experience in mega-projects, has emerged as the primary backer, signaling a new era of international cooperation and competition in the region. To attract even more partners, Nicaragua is offering generous tax breaks and incentives, aiming to frame the canal as a regional development effort that will benefit not just the country, but all of Central America. The official announcement at the China-LAC Business Summit left no doubt about where the real financial muscle lies, highlighting China's growing influence in Latin American infrastructure. With the Panama Canal facing unprecedented congestion and water shortages, Nicaragua is positioning itself as the modern, reliable alternative for global shipping, promising faster transit times and fewer bottlenecks. The government insists that this new plan directly addresses the environmental and social concerns that doomed previous attempts, with stricter oversight, community engagement, and a commitment to protecting Nicaragua's unique ecosystems. As the world watches closely, the question remains: can this ambitious new vision finally become reality, reshaping not just Nicaragua but the future of global trade? China KMC Engineering Company, KMCE, is the powerhouse behind the new canal's construction. As a major state-owned enterprise, KMCE brings deep engineering expertise and access to Chinese state financing. Unlike the previous failed attempt, this project is backed by the full weight of the Chinese government. KMC's involvement signals that the canal is now a key piece of China's Belt and Road Initiative. For China, the canal is about more than trade. It's a strategic move to secure supply chains and expand influence in the Americas. The project gives China a foothold just miles from the U.S., turning a commercial venture into a geopolitical chess move. KMC's role makes this canal far more likely to move from blueprint to reality. The Panama Canal's water crisis is the backdrop for Nicaragua's bold move. Severe drought has slashed ship transits and cargo, exposing the canal's vulnerability to climate change. Shipping delays, lighter loads, and costly detours have shaken global confidence in Panama's reliability. The canal's dependence on rainfall is now a critical weakness in a volatile climate. Panama's maritime leaders warn that without urgent water solutions, shipping lines may shift business elsewhere. Nicaragua and China are seizing this moment, marketing their canal as a modern, resilient alternative. The crisis has turned a second canal from fantasy into necessity for many in the shipping industry. Nicaragua's timing couldn't be more strategic. A Chinese-backed canal in Nicaragua would upend the region's geopolitical and economic order, sending shockwaves far beyond Central America. This ambitious project, if realized, would not only alter the physical landscape of Nicaragua, but also the balance of power in the Western Hemisphere. It challenges over a century of U.S. dominance in Central America, placing Chinese influence at America's doorstep. For Washington, this is more than just an economic rivalry. It's a direct test of its historic sphere of influence, and a signal that global power dynamics are shifting. For Nicaragua, the canal could mean explosive economic growth, jobs, and new revenue streams. Thousands of local workers could find employment, and the country could see a surge in foreign investment, infrastructure development, and international attention. The promise of prosperity is real, and for many Nicaraguans, the canal represents hope for a brighter future. For Panama, it threatens to siphon away traffic and national pride, risking economic turmoil. The Panama Canal has long been a symbol of national identity and economic stability, but a rival canal could undercut its revenues and global standing, forcing Panama to rethink its own future. The project could lower global shipping costs and increase capacity, potentially transforming global trade routes. More ships could move faster and more efficiently between the Atlantic and Pacific, benefiting exporters and consumers worldwide. But these economic gains come with huge environmental and social risks. Massive deforestation, ecosystem disruption, and community displacement are inevitable concerns. The canal's construction would cut through sensitive rainforests and wetlands, threatening wildlife and the livelihoods of indigenous communities. Environmentalists warn that the long-term costs could outweigh the short-term gains. The international community is split. Some see opportunity, others see security threats and instability. Debates rage in global forums, with some countries eager to invest, while others worry about the precedent of major infrastructure projects driven by foreign powers. For the US and its allies, a Chinese-controlled canal raises serious military and strategic questions. Control over such a vital waterway could shift naval power, impact regional security, and complicate defense planning for years to come. The Nicaragua Canal is more than an economic project. It's a geopolitical event that could reshape alliances and trade for decades. New partnerships may form, while old ones are tested, as nations adapt to a rapidly changing landscape. The world must weigh the promise of prosperity against the risks of rivalry and environmental harm. The choices made today will echo for generations, shaping not just Nicaragua, but the entire global order. The new canal has sparked fierce debate among experts and officials worldwide. Nicaraguan leaders tout it as a path to economic independence and national redemption. Panama's maritime industry warns it's a wake-up call. Panama must modernize or risk losing its edge. Economic analysts see logic in a second canal, citing growing trade and bigger ships. Geopolitical experts warn of rising US-China tensions and regional instability. Environmentalists and human rights advocates demand transparent impact studies and protection for vulnerable communities. The new route avoids Lake Coatzacoalcos, but a 445-kilometer canal still poses major environmental threats. The debate is far from settled, with every perspective adding complexity to this monumental project. The canal's future remains uncertain, shaped by competing visions of progress, power, and preservation. The Nicaragua Canal Project stands at a crossroads of ambition, rivalry, and risk. Success could transform Nicaragua and global trade. Failure could deepen debt and division. The project tests the government's ability to deliver prosperity without sacrificing the environment or social stability. For the US and China, it's a new front in their global contest for influence. The canal could be a bridge for commerce or a flashpoint for conflict. Its outcome will shape the Americas and the world for generations. The story is just beginning. What do you think? Opportunity or danger?